Have you ever reached the end of the day feeling exhausted, even though you can't point to anything particularly difficult that happened? You answered a few emails, watched a couple of videos, checked your phone more times than you can remember, and somehow your mind feels louder than ever. It's like there's a constant conversation happening in the background that never stops. You replay old conversations, worry about tomorrow, think about unfinished tasks, and before you've even finished one thought, another one takes its place. That's mental noise, and most of us have become so used to it that we mistake it for normal. The strange thing is that your brain wasn't designed to operate with this level of constant stimulation. Every notification, headline, message, and short video asks for a tiny piece of your attention. Individually, they don't seem like much. But together, they create a mind that's always reacting and rarely resting. That's why even moments of silence can feel uncomfortable. Your brain has forgotten what quiet feels like. A few months ago, I noticed something that genuinely concerned me. I couldn't sit still for 10 minutes without reaching for my phone. If I was waiting for the kettle to boil, I checked notifications. If I was standing in line, I scrolled through social media. Even when I wasn't enjoying what I was looking at, I kept looking. It wasn't curiosity anymore. It was habit. So I decided to try something incredibly simple. Not a complicated morning routine or an expensive productivity system. Just 10 uninterrupted minutes each day with no phone, no music, no podcast, and no distractions. At first, it sounded almost too easy to matter. I couldn't have been more wrong. The first day felt surprisingly uncomfortable. I sat down in a quiet room, set a timer for 10 minutes, and did absolutely nothing except breathe. Within seconds, thoughts started racing. I remembered emails I hadn't answered, conversations I wished had gone differently, errands I needed to run, and random ideas that had nothing to do with the moment. My instinct was to reach for my phone and escape the silence, but I resisted. Something interesting happened after a few minutes. The thoughts didn't disappear, but they began to slow down. Instead of feeling like a crowd shouting all at once, my thoughts became individual voices that I could observe without reacting to them. For the first time in a long while, I realized I didn't have to chase every thought that entered my mind. Over the next few days, those 10 minutes became something I genuinely looked forward to. They weren't about clearing my mind completely. That's an unrealistic goal. The purpose was to create enough space for my brain to process everything it had been carrying. Imagine shaking a snow globe. At first, everything is cloudy. But if you stop shaking it and simply wait, the snow settles on its own. Your mind works in a similar way. It doesn't always need more information or another productivity hack. Sometimes it simply needs stillness. What surprised me most was that the benefits didn't stay inside those 10 minutes. I found myself becoming more patient during conversations and less reactive to small frustrations. I also became more focused while working. My attention stopped jumping from one thing to another quite so easily, and everyday tasks felt lighter because my mind wasn't constantly competing with itself. The best part is that you don't need a perfect environment to make this work. You don't need a meditation cushion, a quiet cabin in the mountains, or hours of free time. All you need is 10 uninterrupted minutes. Find a comfortable place to sit, silence your phone, set a timer, and simply pay attention to your breathing. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently bring your attention back without criticizing yourself. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is practice. At first, your brain may resist. You might feel restless or even bored. That's completely normal. We've trained ourselves to expect constant stimulation. Silence can feel unfamiliar, but if you stay with it, something begins to change. The urge to check your phone becomes weaker. Your thoughts become less frantic, and your decisions begin to feel clearer. Think of these 10 minutes as a reset button rather than another task on your to-do list. You're giving your brain permission to slow down, recover, and organize itself naturally. Over time, this small habit can improve your focus, help you respond instead of react, and make it easier to notice what truly deserves your attention. Sometimes the answers you've been searching for don't come from doing more. They come from creating enough silence to hear yourself think. If this video encouraged you, let me know in the comments if you're willing to try the 10-minute challenge. Subscribe for more practical strategies to improve your focus, protect your attention, and build a calmer, more intentional life.